guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to The Wandering Reader. Today I'm going to be doing my May and June book haul. I bought a lot of books over the last couple of months. So many so that I could probably have done a separate video, one in May and one in June, but here we are, middle of June, and I just thought right now's the time for me to haul them. Yeah, that whole thing about me not buying that many books, that went out the window, so I don't think we're going to worry about that too much at the moment. So let's just jump into all of the books that I bought over the last couple of months. First category, I'm not going to go into that much detail. I bought the Women's Prize for Fiction shortlist, so we've got The Idiot by Elif Batuman. When I Hit You by Mina Kandasamy. Sing, Unburied Sing by Jesmyn Ward. Sight by Jessie Greengrass. Home Fire by Camilla Shamsi, which of course won. And The Mermaid and Mrs Hancock, and this is by Imogen Hermes Gower. I'm currently reading this one, still reading it. I'm about 2/3 of the way through, something like that, and I haven't read The Idiot, but the other four I did read. Next up, I've got the books that I bought on the Booktuber meetup, which was towards the end of April. I haven't hauled those yet. So this one is Mary Beard's Women in Power, a Manifesto. So this is a little non-fiction book, and it's basically her essay about women in power, basically. So I thought that sounded like something that would be really interesting and thought-provoking for me to read. Forgot to say, this one I bought in the London Review bookshop, which I have been in before. Really do like that bookshop. We also went to Persephone Books, never been there before, and yeah, it was just a beautiful shop to be in. And I bought Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day by Winifred Watson. So they come in these sort of grey, they all look the same, these grey hard soft covers, I suppose, and then they all have separate end papers. So this is what the end papers look like for this one, and they also come with a matching bookmark as well. And they basically publish little known female authors of the previous century. I think that's kind of how it goes. This one was recommended on their website as kind of like a starting point, you know, which book should I pick up first. So I remembered that and I bought that one. We also went to Gaze the Word, never been there before either, and when I was in there I saw English Animals, and this is by Laura Kay, and Lauren from Lauren in the Books, and I think it was Mercedes. They were talking about the fact that they really liked this book, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love the pink and the blue on the cover, it really is lovely. So I think this is about a woman who gets a job in a country house, and there's a couple that live there called Richard and Sophie, and yeah, he practices taxidermy and she gets, I don't know, and then it's about her kind of learning about their lives and things like that. So it sounds quite good, and like I said, Mercedes and Lauren had really good things to say about it. We went to a second-hand bookshop on Charing Cross Road, which I can't remember the name of now, but they did lots of new hardback releases for a lot cheaper. So I found a copy of The Great Alone, and this is by Kristen Hanna, and this was, instead of it being sort of $18.99, I got it for a £5, which I thought was brilliant. I've just done a buddy read of this with Lauren from Lauren in the Books and Emma from Emma's Bookish Lifestyle, and yeah, I thought it was really, really good. So I'll talk about this a bit more in my wrap up, but yeah, really glad to have this. And then we ended up in Foyles on Charing Cross Road, and I love that bookshop as well. It's just so massive and so great. So I bought a couple of YA books in there, the first of which is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. There's a lot of buzz around Becky Albertalli at the moment because of Leah on the Offbeat, and I read Simon last year and really liked it, so I thought I'd buy the second one and kind of keep up with the books that she's published. So this, I believe, is about a girl who has had lots of crushes but she's never had a boyfriend. Yeah, and that's kind of all I know about it, so people have had good things to say about this one. And then I also bought The Bells, and this is by Donielle Clayton. I featured this in one of my Book Buzz videos. I think it was the last one that I did. I think this came out in March or February, something like that. Maybe it was a little bit later than that, maybe it was April. But I just love the cover of this. I think it's really, really beautiful. And this is about a world where only the bells have beauty and everybody else is kind of like plain and like almost like a blank canvas, and the bells are the ones that can give beauty. And it's about this one particular belle who goes to the royal palace and she wants to be something more than what she currently is. So yeah, I've heard a lot of people haul this, but I haven't heard a lot of people talk about, like, do a review of it. So yeah, I'd be interested to see how good this goes. Then I have kind of like a mishmash of books that I got from lots of different places. The first of which is this, which is Harry Potter The Wand Collection. I'd been seeing this in my local supermarket for a while, and then I saw Connor, I think his channel name is Connor O'Brien, he hauled this and he kind of flicked through some of the pages and it just made me want to buy it. So basically all it is a book that features all of the wands from the different characters. So it has like a little kind of like, oh god, a little description of the character, and then it shows you a picture of their wand. So that was Madame Pomfrey. Who else have we got in here? There's Bellatrix Lestrange. Yeah, I just thought it was a nice book to add to my Harry Potter collection, just like a coffee table book basically. So yeah, kind of couldn't resist that one. Then I also realised that The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter had come out in paperback, and this is one that's on my booktuber recommends list for this year. So I could have got it from the library, but I saw it out in paperback and I thought I would grab it. I won a giveaway this over the last couple of months, I think towards the end of April as well, and I haven't managed to haul this yet. Basically, Caitlin from Kitty G was doing a giveaway of a few different titles on her channel. I can't remember what the theme behind it was now, but I won a copy of To Kill a Kingdom, and this is by Alexandra Christo, and this is, I believe, another Little Mermaid retelling, or it's about sirens and that sort of thing. So it says it's a dark and romantic new YA fantasy, and this is her debut novel. So yeah, I've received it and she wrote me a really nice little note in it, which I'm going to keep in there as the bookmark that I'll use when I read it. So yeah, I think I'm going to enjoy that one. Next I have a copy of Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls, and I talked about this in my May wrap up and said that I had read a copy from the library and that I really wanted my own copy. So I finally picked it up, so that's going to go on my shelf, and like I said, I'm going to be referring back to it and looking in a bit more detail at all of the women that are in here. Have a couple that I bought from a charity shop. The first of those is The Sleeping Prince, and this is by Belinda Salisbury. This is the second book in the Sine's Daughter series, and I read book 1 about 3 or 4 years ago now and kind of forgot about the series, or maybe I didn't even realise it was a series when when I read book number 1. But this is the second book. I found it in a charity shop in pretty much pristine condition, so I thought I would pick it up so that I can continue on. Then I found a hardcover edition of a book that I wasn't expecting to see in a charity shop in the UK at all, and it's Scott Rentgen's Nixia. This is a sci-fi novel. And it's one, yeah, that I didn't expect to see, just because I think I've got this recommendation from some American booktubers, and I just, yeah, didn't really think I'd find it in there. I think it's the first edition. Let me just have a little look. Yeah, it is a first edition. So I mean, that's fantastic. It came out last year. So if I just read you a little bit of the blurb, it says, Emmett Atwater isn't just leaving Detroit, he's leaving Earth. Why the Babel Corporation recruited him is a mystery, but the number of zeros on their contract has him boarding their lightship and hoping to return to Earth with enough money to take care of his family. Before long, Emmett discovers that he's one of 10 recruits, all of whom have troubled pasts and are a long way from home. Now each recruit must earn the right to travel down to the planet of Eden, a planet that Babel has kept hidden, where they might mine a substance called Nixia, which has quietly become the most valuable material in the universe. But Babel's ship is full of secrets, and Emmett will face the ultimate choice: win the fortune at any cost, or find a way to fight that won't forever compromise what it means to be human. That actually sounds really, really good, and I think it would be one that my husband would enjoy reading as well. I have a couple here that I mentioned in my video about what I got for my birthday, so I'm just briefly going to mention them here. The first one is The Surface Breaks by Louise O'Neill. This is another Little Mermaid inspired book that seems to be a bit of a trend at the moment. Beautiful book, really looking forward to reading it. Another one I got on the day of my birthday was Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This is a movie that's being made pretty soon, and yeah, love the cover on this one. My husband bought these next two, but they are ones that I want to read. It's this Savage Song duet, so we've got This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab. I think this is kind of a book that's about monsters. It's just a duology, I think, and I don't think there's going to be another book in the series, but he read these, he really liked them, so they're going on my TBR too. I also picked up Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. Love this cover. This is the Virago Modern Classics edition of it. Really enjoy this cover. This is the next Daphne du Maurier book that I want to read, and yeah, I don't really know what this is about. So what does it say on the back? After the death of her mother, Mary Yellen crosses the windswept Cornish moors to Jamaica Inn, the home of her Aunt Patience. There she finds Patience a changed woman, downtrodden by her domineering, vicious husband, Josh Merlin. Mary discovers that the inn is a front for a lawless gang of criminals and is unwillingly dragged into their dangerous world of smuggling and murder. Despite herself, she becomes powerfully attracted to a man she dares not trust, Josh Merlin's brother. Before long, Mary will be forced to cross her own moral line to save herself. Okay, not expecting it to be anything like that, but yeah, loving du Maurier's novels so far, so really looking forward to picking this one up. I also pre-ordered A Court of Frost and Siler by Sarah J Maas. This is the novella that's like a bridge between the two trilogies in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I've heard very negative things about this. My husband's read it, he didn't think it was that great. He just didn't. I think a lot of people think that it doesn't really add anything to the series and that you have to be a really die-hard fan in order to enjoy this. So it's quite short. I think it's less than 200 pages. What is it now? Well, it's not going to tell me. Oh, like 230 pages, something like that. So it won't take long to read, but yeah, a little bit disappointed by the reviews I've seen of this so far. I was doing an Amazon order when I pre-ordered A Court of Frost and Starlight, and I wanted to add a couple of things to my basket so that I could get free shipping basically, and one of those was Down Among the Sticks and Bones. This is by Shannon Maguire. This is the second book in the Wayward Children series. I read the first one last year, I think. Really enjoyed it, so wanted to continue on. I can't ever find these in bookshops, so I kind of have to order them online. So yeah, really looking forward to getting into that one. And then the last few books that I've got to show you were all ones that I picked up in Waterstones yesterday. I went for lunch with my mum and I popped into Waterstones afterwards. And yeah, I know I wanted to pick up a couple of books for my husband, which I did. I'm not going to show you them in this haul. And then I bought a few other books as well. They had the first couple of books I've got to show you are from a Pride display that they had. They had a couple of different Pride displays in the store, and the YA one was the one that caught my eye. So, and they were also buy one get one half price. So I bought Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy. This is a female romance, and this is one that I've heard Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads say excellent things about, so I saw it there. I think this is the American edition of it, so it's one of those really floppy paperbacks, which is great. But yeah, there's that one. And then I also saw there Becky Albertalli's newest book, Leah on the Offbeat. Again, I've seen sort of mixed reviews of this so far, but it was on the table and it was buy one get one half price, so I thought I'd get it. It also came with a bookmark, which I was really impressed by, so Instagram ready. Then I was sort of like perusing the YA table, the other sort of buy one get one half price books that they had, and I saw a couple there that I wanted. This one is The Poet X, and this is by Elizabeth Acevedo, and this I believe is in the vein of The Hate You Give, but it's a book that's told in verse. So yeah, it's told completely in verse. I've never read a book that's told completely in verse before, so it intrigues me from that point of view, and then the themes of the book really intrigue me too, and I think this is an absolutely beautiful cover. And then as part of that deal I bought Orphan Monster Spy, and this is by Matt Killeen, and this is a historical fiction book that is set during World War II, and I'll just read you what it says on the back. Sarah has played many roles, but now she faces her most challenging of all, because there's only one way for a Jewish orphan spy to survive at a school for the Nazi elite, and that's to become a monster like them. They think she's just a little girl, but she is the weapon they never saw coming, with a mission to destroy them all. So I think it kind of is a book that messes with the way that World War II went, maybe, or something like that, but yeah, I just thought it sounded really good. And then the last three are all new hardback releases that I'm really excited about. This one is The Lido, and this is by Libby Page. I've been seeing this around, and they had it in there, and when I got to the till, the woman who was serving me said, "Oh, have you read Eleanor Oliphant?" And I said, "Yes, I absolutely love that." And she said, "Oh, this is really, really similar. If you liked Eleanor Oliphant, you'll really like this." So yeah, I think this is about two women, a younger woman and an older woman, who go to this Lido every day. And then one day they decide that this, like the powers that be decided this Lido is going to close, and then the two women basically come together to try and stop it from closing, basically. So that sounds really interesting. It also came with a postcard and a bookmark as well. So again, really good for Instagram. So yeah, looking forward to giving that one a go. Also have here The Line Becomes a River, and this is by Francisco Canto. And I was lucky enough to find this edition that has been signed by the author. So there you go, there's his signature. This is a book that I featured in my last Book Buzz video, and this is basically a non-fiction book from Francisco Canto, and he was a border patrol agent for the US-Mexico border, and it's basically a series of stories about sort of his experience as a border patrol police officer, I suppose, a border patrol agent. So I think that's going to be really interesting, just about the things that he has to say, the people he met, yeah, the experiences that he had, and I'm glad I've got a copy of this now. And lastly, I saw A Place for Us, and this is by Fatima Farheen Mirza. And this is a book that's being published by an imprint that Sarah Jessica Parker is in charge of. So it's from Hogarth, but I can't remember the or whether, do I know the name of the imprint? Basically, she's in charge of choosing books for this imprint. And Jen from Jen Campbell read this book a couple of months ago now and said amazing things about it. And then all I've seen since are a number of people who have read it and have given it really high ratings. So yeah, this is, if I just read you a little bit of the blurb, it says, "A Place for Us catches an Indian Muslim family as they prepare for their eldest daughter's wedding. But as Hadia's marriage, one chosen of love, not tradition, gathers the family back together, there is only one thing on their minds. Can Amar, the estranged younger brother of the bride, be trusted to behave himself after 3 years away? A Place for Us tells the story of one family, but all family life is here. Rafiq and Layla must come to terms with the choices their children have made, while Hadia, Huda and Amar must reconcile their present culture with their parents' world, treading a path between old and new. And they must all learn how the smallest decisions can lead to the deepest betrayals." Sounds fascinating, and like I said, Jen had nothing but good things to say about it, so I saw it, I grabbed it, really looking forward to reading it. So that was 32 books, and I didn't bother hauling the ones that my husband bought this month because we've been here forever, and yeah, there are a lot of them I won't be reading anyway. So yeah, so that's a lot of books. Go away and organise them now and put them back on my shelves. So there you go. As always, I'd love to have a chat with you in the comments below. Have you read any of these? What did you think of them? Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.